thoughts about Michelle before she comes to the stage. Michelle is headed to Brown University this fall to study cognitive neuroscience and history. It is not at all surprising that her classmates believe she might have something to say to us today. I say that not because of her college prospects, which are indeed bright, but because of who Michelle is as a person. Michelle embodies that rare combination of extraordinary talent, intelligence, discipline, ambition, and modesty, kindness, and good humor. She is one of the most impressive and unassuming and gracious people you will ever meet. She has established herself at CCA as one of our top scholars, undertaking not only 7 AP classes, but also numerous individualized honors studies. What many at CCA do not know, both because of her modesty and because she pursues her sport outside of school, is that Michelle is also one of New England's top-ranked and recruited competitive swimmers. She will leave us on her way to being an Ivy League scholar and a Division I elite athlete. I give you Michelle Guo for the 2018 Senior Address.
Thank you, Mr. Foskett, and hello, everyone. So the day I found out I was giving this speech was probably one of the best days of my life. Not only was I told I had to face my greatest fear, public speaking, I also was told I had mono. So, it was a great day. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today in recognizing and celebrating the achievements of the class of 2018. To our Chinese families who could join us today, 欢迎大家来参加我们的毕业典礼. I think I can speak for all of us when I say that we have been looking forward to this day since we stepped forward into the treacherous realm known as high school. At the time, it may have felt like an eternity, but now that we are here, it seems strangely bittersweet. Here we have been challenged, inspired, and equipped to succeed beyond the safe little bubble known as Cape Cod Academy. It has truly been a privilege to be a part of this school, and I think no one captures this quite as well as a wise Winnie the Pooh, who said, "How lucky I am to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard." But I'll be honest, it isn't the homework or the tests that will be missed, but rather the people that make up this community. For some of you, graduating means a culmination of 13 years here, but for others, it is the first and the last. To me, graduation is a pause to acknowledge, to look forward, and to celebrate. That being said, I'd like to not only acknowledge the graduating class, but also the people that helped us reach this point, with something I saw on the quote board during English. Mrs. Boyle, I promise I was paying attention. As Lao Tzu, an ancient Chinese philosopher, said, "A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." But he never said that this was a journey taken alone. Thank you to our parents and guardians for beginning this path for us, and for teaching us to take those first steps, for watching us toddle down the path, and for supporting us when we stumble, for lifting us when we fall, and for always, always encouraging us to continue. Thank you to our teachers and administrators for being our guides, giving us a map to navigate this journey, and for showing us the many paths and opening up endless possibilities for our adventure, for smoothing the path that we choose, and for giving us the tools to find our way through. And of course, to my classmates, our journey has reached the point where our paths separate into 24 different directions. I stand here and I look at you all, and I feel exceedingly proud to be a part of the legacy of the class of 2018. The astounding range of individuals that stand before me, from 6'3" to 5'1", not just physically, but intellectually, your interests range from physics to archaeology and anthropology, entrepreneurship to criminology, and linguistics to environmental studies. And this has really defined our graduating class. We all seem so uniquely individual, which is why together we were able to learn so much from each other. Specifically, I've learned that I want to approach life with a little bit of everyone's character. Nick's confidence, Mariah's eloquence, Christian's humor, Tommy's yo-yo skills, Ryan's math genius, Janet's appreciation for food, Hope's leadership, Norbu and Ryan's coordination, and Molly's ability to write a quality paper, the period before it is due. I could go on and on, but every one of you has inspired me with your strengths. But try as I might, I will never be able to achieve your degrees of mastery. My point is that all of you have something unique to offer the world, something that no one can replicate as well as you. So thank you for sharing your expertise, and in turn, shaping my high school experience. In the words of my brother Alan, these experiences, whether you can or cannot consciously recall them, are already a part of who you are and dictate your existence. There are many words I think of when I think of this class. Creative, intellectual, bold, passionate, sometimes a little too passionate. But watching all of you learning where you want to channel that passion is so exciting, and that's what makes the future exciting. So in honor of the future, and sending you all off, I'd like to offer some advice. I know what you're thinking. How are you, Michelle, qualified to give advice? All you do is swim and study. Yeah, you're probably right. But these 3 pieces of advice come from people who are extremely qualified to give it. One day, I was standing at the wall during swim practice, and my coach had just given us a very difficult set. I didn't particularly want to do it, so I raised my hand and I said, "Coach, I'm tired. I can't make this set." The first thing he said was, "I don't really care about your pain. It doesn't affect me." The second thing he said was, "You don't have to feel good to swim fast." This applies to much more than just swimming. Almost every day, we wake up and the hardest thing to do is to will ourselves to endure what we imagine to be a terrible hardship. But often, that hardship is what will help us reach our goals. We may not feel like we can swim another lap, study for another hour, or work another minute, but you don't always have to feel like it to do it well. No matter how much you think you can't do it, you're probably wrong. If you can pronounce Siga's last name, you can do anything. Second, people always say, be yourself. But one of the best lessons came from someone I met just 1 month ago. With nothing but a drug addiction and a determination to change hers and her children's lives for the better, this woman said something that will forever stay with me. "Don't just be yourself," she said. "Always strive to be the very best version of yourself. Be the kindest you, be the hardest working you, be the most patient and generous you every day. And slowly, you will find that the best you today is better than the best you yesterday. And the best you tomorrow is better than the best you today. The best version of you may seem intangible and perhaps unattainable, but you owe it to yourself and to those around you to strive to make that a reality. Whether you'll be an hour away come next fall, or you'll be all the way in Hawaii, don't change yourself, but try and be the person that you are capable of. If you continue to do this each and every day, you might find that day by day, it becomes a little easier to be the best you." Of course, we have found many role models here at Cape Cod Academy as well, and I would be thrilled to be just a little like them in the future. I'd like to be as cheerful as Mrs. Hall, as charismatic as Mr. Kenny, as stylish as Mr. Grilly, as organized as Miss Adler, and as understanding as Mrs. Johnson. Something else that I learned here, not from a single student or a single teacher, but from everyone here, is that people here care. We are a class of 24 kids, so we are lucky or unlucky enough to know each other extremely well. Remember, our lives aren't solely defined by the amount of retweets we get on Twitter or the number of likes we have on Instagram, unless you post a really dank meme. But rather, it is given meaning by the people who impact you along the way. Don't forget to reconnect with people here, and never forget the people that helped you become who you are. If you need a hand in the future, don't hesitate to ask. Likewise, if someone asks you for help, be willing to lend a hand. So in short, you can do anything, even if you don't feel like it. Be the best you that you can, and don't forget to stay in touch. I guess I could have just said that, but I do like hearing myself talk. As Alice in Wonderland says, I don't much care where I go, as long as I get somewhere. So whether you end up as a Supreme Court justice, or are living in your mother's basement, remember that. You still got somewhere. But the cat replies, oh, you're sure to do that, if you only walk long enough. So if you're still in your mother's basement 15 years from now and you want out, keep walking. Your journey of 1,000 miles isn't over yet. So, in a speech full of cliches, I hope that I've captured how grateful I am to all of you for making this high school experience what it was, how proud I am of all that the 23 of you have accomplished, and given you a little bit of wisdom. So step forward with conviction, my fellow classmates, because the gates of freedom are cracked just a little bit right now, but in 3 months, they will be blown wide open. But now that we have this freedom, what are you going to do with it? I look forward to finding out the answer to that question in the coming years. But before we go, I'd like to tie up one loose end, one that I know has been weighing heavily on your minds for 2.5 years since the fall of sophomore year. I have been informed by Mr. Lewison that he finally graded our Fall of the Bastille papers, and we all received A's. So now that that has been taken care of, you can all breathe a little easier. Take a moment to celebrate with your teachers, your parents, and your friends. No doubt you've earned it. Thank you all for making this high school experience truly remarkable, and thank you for listening.